right, thank you, everybody. This is me, Abdullah Konte, with special guest this week, Josh Taylor of A to Z Sports, your favorite Twitter and YouTube star. You know, he is about to head out to Mobile, Alabama for the Senior Bowl if the weather permits. So I figured we'd jump on and chop it up with you. Josh, thank you so much for being here and talking to us, man.
I know, man. It's a long time coming.
Yeah.
We've been talking about this for a hot minute now.
Yeah,
So
honestly.
this is a great time to do it, though.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Josh, definitely, we talked during the season. I've gotten a lot closer with him in the last, year or so, and he's actually one of the people who's been, giving me a lot of advice on this YouTube journey that I'm on and everything, trying to build up Win Sports from the ground up. But we definitely, chop it up. I'm texting him about, who's the next star. I was texting him about, Arvo Reese and Ruben Bain during the season. So I figured this would be a good time to just talk about all the guys that are going to be down there. So my first question to you, man, is really what's it like? I mean, you're going down to, obviously see the players on the field. You're going to see and be able to interview some of these players also. But I think another element of it is that you're going to be able to, talk with a lot of these, coaches and GMs or just, scouts, all of that kind of thing. So, what's the most exciting part of it? What's the vibe like when you go down there?
Oh, man, the vibes is, crazy. I mean, I think it's either year 6 or 7. I can't remember. I think 2019 was the first time I went. But even just, seeing it, over the years, before I just, kind of stuck to myself, just whatever, let me do my own thing. But then, as you start going, you realize, how much of an opportunity it is to, network. A lot of the people that I'm talking to, throughout the season or especially, in the off season, whether it's, agents or scouts or just, Jeremy Fowler, there was times where I was chopping up with him at the Senior Bowl. You just never know who you're about to run into, Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, it's just one giant networking event where everyone's just so excited for the draft prospects and stuff. But there's also stuff going on off the field too, hiring defensive coordinators and head coaching. Yeah,
because weren't you there last year, or was it 2 years ago when they hired Adam Peters or something like that? You were there. Either that or Dan Quinn or something like that. Yeah,
2 years ago they hired Adam Peters, and then I think it was the very next day he was at the Senior Bowl. So I was one of the first people scouting him out and see what all how he watches stuff and everything. But yeah, that's when I found out Dan Quinn, it was 2 hours before they announced it, but they're yeah, Dan Quinn's about to be the head coach. And I was oh man, I don't know how to feel about that. It was kind of, cause no one heard about it yet. But it's such a great networking event. But then also, you said, just talking to the players, you're watching these guys for some of them 2-3 years. And then you finally get to just talk to them for a little bit, get to know their mindset, how they act. I feel that's such an underrated part of the process, and why interviews with teams are such a big weight that a lot of people talk about, oh, he interviewed badly. Well, what does that even mean? So you're kind of getting your own little interview out there. I'm not part of the front office or anything, but it's just nice to get into their mindset a little bit, see how they act. Honestly, Trey Amos was one of my favorite guys that I talked to last year, and just seeing that translate with Washington, it's just a good opportunity for yourself to get in front of these players, to get in front of all these people. But then also for the players too, a lot of these players have never talked to anyone before, and some of them struggle with talking. So it's such a great opportunity. And I tell anybody, if you get the chance, just go and make the most of it.
Trust me. I mean, that's kind of why I wanted you to jump on, because I want to go eventually. You know what I mean? But it's one of these things where it's the best thing is coming and seeing what you experience out there. Because I watch a lot of people, and so many of these guys who cover the draft are talking about how they're so excited to get down there, and I think it's for the same things you're talking about. Not only just seeing the players, but also the networking element. It's kind of all of us, all the people who really love covering the draft. This is the beginning of that journey between now and April. So I had a question. Obviously we heard the big news about Ruben Bain signing up to be a part of this week, which was crazy to me, right? I mean, it was crazy to me because already seeing David Bailey on that, I had to look at the roster again, did he get pulled off? Because, we did see some people jumping off the roster as their stock rises. And, those are two guys that have been mocked thoroughly in the top 7. So, in the 6 years of you, covering, are you seeing more talented players play in this? And do you actually think that they're going to play in the game, or are they going to do something similar to Mike Green last year, where he came in, he practiced for a few days, did really well in those one-on-ones, and then just dipped out because he kind of showed what he could do? So is that what you're expecting, or what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I was shocked to see Bailey first off say that he's going. Like, I was like, oh, that's a big one. Like, that's very notable. But then when Ruben Bain said he was going, like, I think that shocked everybody. But it's also like, it also just shows like the kind of player he is. And there was, I think, like you said, there was like 6 or 7 players that already got pulled off. A lot of those players were in the playoffs, and they have like small injuries that they're dealing with. That's something that I was told, like, they were pulled out because of that reason. Like, they needed to get healthy, and they just didn't want to risk anything. But like, Bane just played like
2 days ago. Like, I mean, it was like we just watched it, man. Yeah.
And he's like, nah, I'm gonna be there. So that's honestly something you don't see often, and you don't see a lot of like top 5, top 10 picks, like locks, going to the Senior Bowl, because you're like, what else do I need to prove? Like, I know I'm going top 5. But the fact that he's going, and there was also whispers that like his measurements, about like his arm length, that happened at Miami, like, weren't too accurate.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's something to watch too, because like that's the first thing they do when they get there. They weigh in, they measure in, arm length, height, weight, you name it. I mean, Kenny Pickett's small hands when he was there, like, that was a big thing. Like, these measurements, like, it's key. So I think that's the biggest thing everyone's waiting for, to see what his arm length is actually going to be. Sure. But then just the fact that he's like, if David Bailey's going to be there, I'm going to be there,
Yeah. I mean, this turned into this, like, for me, it's like Bailey versus Bane kind of show. And, like, obviously there's a lot of other people. Like, Messidor being in it, too, is, like, another guy that I was looking forward to. There's so many really great prospects that, just get me excited. But those two were just, like, kind of like the headliners in a way. But, is there certain players? I know you're a Bama fan, so there might be some Bama players you're excited to see. Is there any guys that like are maybe underrated people that we're not talking about that you're like, yo, I cannot wait to go see this guy or talk to this guy? Is there anybody like that, or you just kind of like, yo, blank canvas, I'm just gonna go see what's up?
So there's 2 sides. I'll always go into it with like my list of players. Like, I have my notebook. I know I look like a complete nerd out there probably, but it's all good. Like, I'm a writer person.
Hey, man, we want the info, so nerd out and get all that. Yeah, get all the intel
I
needed.
I got the same notebook I've been using for years. Like, it's not like the big one or anything. Yeah. It's not like, the divided. Yeah. It's just like a little teeny notebook, but it works. But I watch those players, and and this year, like with our company, we have a meeting tomorrow, but we're going to be watching like certain like positions and stuff. And I already told them, I'm like, give me edge.
Yeah.
Give me edge. Yeah. I don't care what y'all watch. Just give me these edge 100%. Players. But the ones I always love are the players that I either don't know or just were like, oh, okay, like I know the name, but like it's whatever. And they just go crazy all week. And that's what, I don't know if you were like following me too much last season.
Kyle Williams. No, I was that was my next question, but go ahead. Yeah.
But it's just like, those are my favorite types of players that like, they're like, I know you weren't here to watch me, but you're going to watch me anyways. Yeah. And for the edge group, I feel like there's a lot of them, to be honest with you. Like, it's super deep. I feel like the ones that aren't getting talked about enough. First off, I've loved Dennis Sutton for a long time. Yeah. I know you see the Penn State helmet.
Oh yeah,
there. I covered him since he first came into Penn State when I was doing like recruiting and stuff. And he is just like one of those players you want on your defense. Sure. And I know they had a bad season, whatever. He's still a really good player. But then even like Romello Height, David Bailey's teammate on the other side, completely. I feel like he's another underrated guy. You watch the tape though, and you see him burst out too. And then Zion Young out of Missouri and Derek Moore out of Michigan. I think, to be honest with you, I think Derek Moore is probably going to be one of my favorites out of that group that comes out though. Sure. He's a super productive guy, another twitchy edge. But it's just like you have those 2, like you said, headliners, but somebody is going to just have the week of their life. Because like you said, Bain and Bailey are probably going to practice the first day or 2, and then they're going to go home on Friday and just call it a day and not play in the game. But someone else is going to take advantage of that. So I think there are a lot of underrated defensive ends that aren't being talked about. And it's just, And that's another reason why, like, I want to see who we hire for the defensive coordinator.
Sure. Yeah, it gives you more of an idea of like if their skill set matches like, you know, the new coach or whatnot. Yeah.
Because like with the Titans, like they got Robert Saleh. And, you know, he runs a certain way. Is he going to want another big beside like Jeffrey Simmons and, you know, Tavondre Sweat? Or is he going to want a David Bailey? That could completely change what Washington has on the board at 7. So same thing with Washington. Who they get at defensive coordinator, he might be like, I don't want, you know, Romello Height. Like I need a bigger guy that can put his hand in the dirt kind of thing. So I'm hoping they hire somebody before the first practice.
Yeah, I mean, that's
see.
the thing. Yeah, like, I mean, there's been a lot of talk. Obviously, we're in D.C. watching D.C. and you know, this is like probably the perfect time for them to kind of announce that. We've noticed that they've, you know, obviously have interviewed like 6 different coaches at this point. I think Al Harris might be today or tomorrow. I don't know when it's actually happening.
This is today,
yeah,
I think.
so like, you know, let's get on and popping because like I think everybody's excited.
That'll help me out.
Yeah, exactly. And
I can narrow my list.
Yeah, and for me, just as a nerd, I just want to know because at the same time, this defense was so bad last year. It'd be nice to know what kind of direction that they're headed. So my question, I mean, obviously was about kind of sleepers overall because I do remember the Kyle Williams thing last year. And it was one of these things that like, I think you were so – because you're like one of the main people that we follow that's down there. And you talking to Kyle Williams, you kind of showing us what he was about. It led to like every person who does mock drafts, who enjoys mock drafts in DC, was just mocking Kyle Williams at some point. Everybody,
find a way.
Yeah, everybody was like, Kyle Williams is on our team. We don't care.
Yeah.
So, you know, how quickly do you recognize a sleeper? Like, is it day one? Like, do sometimes you recognize a sleeper in like day 3, or is it usually like there's somebody who just comes out guns blazing every year?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, day 1, there's always somebody that just shows up. And I mean, I have a list of some sleepers that I've already been looking at. Obviously, like I said, there are the big names there, but there's a DB, Traden Stukes out of Arizona. He might be the most fun DB to watch out of this entire draft.
Oh, really? Okay.
Like he had one interception against Arizona State where, I mean, I don't know what his vertical is. Like I can't wait to see it at the combine, but like cleared the guy. Like it was like Moss, like insane.
Okay, I'll check it
insane.
out.
But he's somebody I talked about. I think I put him in my mock draft last week. But he can play big nickel. He can play some safety. Like he's just an all-out stud. And it's funny because like these one-on-one drills are terrible for corners and safeties. Like it is designed for the wide receiver.
Oh yeah, I used to play corner and we hated one-on-ones because it was like there's so much space. You do a little slant and they're gone. You know what I'm saying? It's really hard.
It's not realistic.
No, it isn't.
But like those are the matchups though where like there's a DB that will have. I'm trying to think who was it. Thomas from Florida State. He went to the Jets.
Azarie Thomas.
Yeah, Azarie Thomas. Balled out at the Senior
great.
Bowl, dude.
I'm a Florida State fan, so I remembered that one quick.
Okay,
yeah.
I was like, I couldn't remember. I was like, Ambry Thomas, but no, I was the dude for the 49ers. But yeah, it's just like every now and then you get those kind of DBs, and I think that's what he's going to be. And then there's a wide receiver that got put on my radar. Like I heard his name throughout the season, but I was like, whatever, I'll come back to him. But if Washington's looking for like that slot corner that can dominate in the kind of offense that I think David Blau's going to run, I think the Kyle Williams this season's going to be Kevin Coleman Jr.
He's good, man. He went to Miami to start his career, right? He's from St. Louis or whatnot.
I think so.
Yeah, good player, man. Like honestly, he kind of like jumped around, or was he Jackson State, something like that? I just remember him jumping around a couple teams. But yeah, he's a good player for sure.
But I mean, and I love Bo to death. Bo Perbula, quarterback from Missouri, love him to death. Yeah. Awesome kid. But that passing game just ain't it.
Yeah, no.
So you know, it's just. But like, just watching the Missouri and Alabama game this year, I was like, man, this Kevin Coleman guy, I'm about to circle back on him. And sure enough, I did when the season ended, and I was like, man, I think he just has so much that hasn't been unlocked yet. Like in that offense, like I said, they weren't spreading the ball out. Like Bo Perbula wasn't throwing deep stuff to him. But man, I can't wait to see what he looks like. Obviously Elijah Surratt, I like him too. Jacoby Lane out of USC is another one that he's a big dude. I want to see how big he is, to be honest with you. But then Brennan Thompson, might be the fastest guy in the draft.
Okay.
Out of Mississippi State.
Sure.
Small dude. So there's a lot of like what you want, I got it kind of prospects, whether it's like big physical receivers or if you need some speedy slot receivers. Because I don't know about you, man, but I think Washington needs 2 wide receivers this offseason.
They need a lot, and that's the thing. That's the real reason why. Like, I mean, because you're not wrong. Like when I try to do mocks or when I just try to evaluate like free agency in the draft, it's kind of one of these things where it's like I get why people are like, yo, they need to go for Amar Cooper in the 3rd. They need to go for Jordan Tyson in the 1st.
That's the dream.
I mean, honestly, I like him. And when I was listening to you talk about him before the national championship, it was kind of like every time he made a play, I was like, yo, there goes Josh's man again because he was balling.
Good.
But
he's better than Elijah Sherrod.
Yeah, which is funny.
I think he goes in the 2nd.
I went the other way around before the national. I was kind of thinking Elijah was better, but then during the game, I'm like, man, he looks really good too. So they have some really good receivers up there. We won't even get into Becker since he's not ready yet. But at the same time,
I think he has 2 more years.
Yeah, no, he's crazy good too. But like at the same time, when I hear people talk about receiver, it's like, yeah, man, like I think there's such glaring needs on defense, especially, obviously at edge. You could say, parts of the secondary, even linebacker, with Bobby getting older. But, my thing is that, like if it was up to you, like obviously we're not at the – you do a lot of mocks, I know that. But, like, if you were to say, come April, do you think they go offense at all? Do you think, I mean, with Tate and Mekhi Lemon, I know you're a big Mekhi Lemon fan also.
Oh, yeah.
With those guys up there, is there a possibility that they're like, you know what, we love, we can fix some of this stuff in free agency. Let's go for an offensive guy at that 7th spot.
Yeah, it's so like there's a lot of people that like ask me like, like why do you pick these? Like why didn't you take this? Why didn't And like I think about free agency when I'm doing my mock drafts. Like, and when you look at the free agency list, I'm like, okay, they might get Trey Hendrickson, they might get Boye Mafe, they might get Kwity Paye. Who knows? Like, it's not plentiful by any means, but like there's options. So it's not like impossible that they sign Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah.
Then obviously you're probably not going to take David Bailey or Ruben Bain at 7.
Yeah.
So like I keep that in mind, but then same with like linebacker, I think there's plenty of options. Safety, I think there's plenty of options, even though I love this safety draft so much.
Yeah.
But then like wide receiver, it's just like, okay, it's either George Pickens, who's like, winning the lottery. Probably not going to happen.
Yeah,
Alec Pierce seems like he's more of a priority to the Colts than Michael Pittman Jr. is from like everything I heard. Like they don't want Alec Pierce to leave. So I'd put it at like 80% that he stays in Indianapolis, if not like 85%. I think Dobbs ends up leaving. But then it's like, who else is there at wide receiver?
Yeah.
Like,
we're starting to see. And
Wan'Dale Robinson.
Yeah, exactly. And so we're starting to see more of that because I felt like last year was the epitome of that. Like as we were waiting and getting closer to free agency, all the guys that were like, oh, maybe they will go after just kept getting signed. And we're like, dang, who can they even sign? You know what I mean?
Next?
Like, who's actually available? So, this is where only having, not having that 2nd or 4th rounder is going to hurt.
God, sucks.
So the trade back, I mean, I like too many of the guys at the top of the draft. That's why I don't want them to trade back, but I also understand if they do, because I think if they do want to accumulate some more draft capital, that's probably what they're going to have to do. It'll be interesting, right? So
I don't see a team trading up though.
Me neither.
Who are they trading up for?
Me neither, especially with Dante Moore. Like that was just another piece of an asset that could have maybe pushed people back, But
that was a huge domino.
Yeah, that was him returning. Kind of, I just don't see. Is there anybody that people are worth jumping up, far to get? I just don't really see it. So.
I mean, we were talking in our little company about like scouts, like how they feel about this draft, and like I hate saying this because I don't think this can exist, but everyone says that this is just a bad draft.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah,
which I mean, it's just like if you think and compare to 2027, then this draft sucks.
Yeah, that draft.
I mean,
I'm so glad it's gonna be in DC. I'm gonna be right there.
Oh, dude,
yeah. You gonna come? You coming up? What's up?
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna be camped out outside if I have to. But it's just like this. The glaring like thought about this draft is just everyone's like, there's no one to like pick to where you're like, oh, he's an all pro like style player, let alone mortgage your picks for next year to trade up into this draft. So I think like there's no Travis Hunter. There's no like just thinking of like a non-quarterback player.
Like no
or
Jeremiah Smith. Like if Jeremiah Smith was in here, it'd be something else. Yeah,
like Jeremiah Love. Is a team going to trade up for a running back like that?
I don't see it. Like I love him, man. Like I'm not gonna lie, I do. It's just running back is, and he'll probably go higher than maybe a lot of people would think. But like at the same time,
he's gonna go to the Chiefs at 9.
He should go to the Chiefs at 9. Like I think I've heard a lot of. I've heard a lot of like if I was his age, I'd be like, yo, we want that 9 spot. I've heard some talk about New Orleans as well, but no, I get it, and I think that's where we're gonna have to. Free agency will change a lot of things. It'll give people more thoughts on if people want to jump up for somebody. But okay, cool. Well, look, the last thing I want to do with you, I obviously was going through the roster and saw a lot of guys that I liked and just wanted to see what you thought. So it's gonna be I'm gonna give you 3 players from a position group. They're generally in like the same area when it comes to draft position. For what I believe. I don't know. You might be more of an expert on that. I just want you to tell me, like, who do you think maybe the best player would be or the player that maybe you would take or, like, the best value player of those 3. First is going to be cornerback. The 3 people are Keontae Scott, Davison Igbinosun, and Dalen Everett.
Oh, man. That one's tough.
Okay.
I think for Washington, it would be Keontae Scott. Okay. I think he's going to be a second rounder, though.
Bear in mind, all of these are probably in potential. Like if we were there, I don't know if this team will be there, but just
But I mean, but we say that every year, and something happens,
and you never know. How? Yeah, like you never know what'll happen. But yes,
we say, oh, that safety's going top 10, and they go 24th.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I mean, so Keontae Scott, I mean, I love him to death. Igbinosun, I will say, like, I'll give him his flowers. He got so much better this season because last year he just couldn't stop. He just couldn't stop getting like penalized. Yeah. And everyone's like, this guy's like not draftable right now. The teams are gonna hate this guy.
Like he would be so good in like the '90s when they allowed some of that stuff. Like they don't allow any of that physical play anymore.
Igbinosun, playing with Ed Reed behind him, unstoppable. Yeah. But yeah, man, Keontae Scott. And I thought he was good, but he just like hit a different level in the CFB playoff. And like I said, just that kind of nickel corner. And I forgot who it was, but someone did an article about like just today's NFL and like usually you just the nickel corner was like your third best corner, and it was kind of just like we'll kind of just stick him there because we have to. Like we have these other 2, but now it's like. If you can get a legit nickel corner that can be physical, that can cover these athletic tight ends, that can, stop the run at a high level in like it's a game changer on defense. Like we see with the Seahawks, man. It's just and I think he's that kind of just like plug in player, and you're like, holy smokes, we got a dude. So yeah, I would go Keontae Scott. Okay. Man, I would love for him to be in Washington. Yeah, I don't care if you're the defensive coordinator. You better figure it out.
Yeah, he's good, man. This is where like we talked about, like that second rounder. Like it's something where like right now most people who are looking at the draft are so locked in on who are they picking first. But when that second round comes, we're gonna be like, dang, man, it'd be kind of nice if you get another pick in here.
Wide receiver, safety, corner is what I look at in the second round all the time.
Yeah. Okay, so next one is edge. We have 2 groups of edge, but this is the first group. First group of edge is Denai Dennis Sutton, like you said, Keem Messidor, and Romello Height. So you already talked about 2 of them. Messidor, I don't know. He's been rising really high. I mean, I think earlier, like I saw him, he was like a 3rd rounder, but now people are like, yo, end of first, maybe. So like, what's your take on those 3, and who would you pick basically?
So I like Messidor. I know like there will be teams that like won't even consider drafting him just because of how old he is. Yeah. Like he'll be 30 by the time his rookie contract is up, which is not terrible.
Not ideal for him for sure. Yeah.
But he's such a damn good player though. But he also has a lot of injury history too. And Romello Height. Let me double check his weight, but I know he's a smaller guy.
He's slim.
Yeah, and it's gonna give him some fits at first. Do they have his official? They have him at 240.
He's slim for sure.
Yeah.
He gives me more like 3-4 outside linebacker kind of vibe, but yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna. I mean, the thing is, like, I mean, even like with David Bailey, like he can drop into coverage like no problem. Yeah. Like it's fine. But I gotta go deny Dennis Sutton, man.
I know you love him.
Yeah, dude. He's and the thing is, like, I'm so glad Penn State had such a bad year because there's a chance that he could actually fall to the third.
Yeah.
But I think by the time the draft process like settles out and he's there,
the draft
he's
process
get back,
corrects things a little bit.
So people over exaggerate too much.
So I in my notes I had which I thought you would pick for these, and so far I'm 2 for 2. So I'm not going to tell you the rest of them, but we'll see if I get the rest of them right. All right, next one is safety. And you did have an article for those who didn't see. He had an article today about safeties overall. So the 3 that I had was Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, Kamari Ramsey, and AJ Halsey. I know. I knew you were going to be struggling with this one because I know you like 2 of these guys a lot, I don't know if you like all 3, but I know 2 of them for sure you've mentioned.
Yeah, the one I like the most, I didn't even write about because I don't think, like I said, I think he's going early second.
Wait, who's that?
So, Ramsey.
Ramsey, okay, got it. Okay,
Kamari Ramsey. Yeah, he's probably my favorite. It's tough though because Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, dude, he's such a complete safety, and you can literally play him anywhere. He's so physical. I mean, you watch his tackling, you're just like, oh my gosh, like, is that allowed? But it's it's clean tackle, but it's just like he is not afraid to hit somebody. But man, Kamari Ramsey is just a dude who can fly all over the field. He would be a free safety, and I'd probably play McNeil-Warren either as like a box safety, or he can play out like deep out in coverage like strong safety, no problem. Yeah, man, I'm gonna have to go Kamari Ramsey. I love Kamari Ramsey. He's one of my favorites to watch, but it's tough.
Okay, I got that one wrong because I thought you'd go McNeil-Warren for sure. But
it's so close.
I thought this would be the hardest one. I thought this one would be the hardest one, but yeah.
But Halsey's a good one too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's funny you didn't mention Halsey much, but I honestly, they're all great players. Like for those, look, I'm on the Caleb Downs tick. I would say if I had to make a decision at 7. It's very much either Bailey or Downs, and I just love Downs. But for those who might be sad if they don't get Downs, there are some other guys in this draft that they could potentially grab. So keep looking at those other players, and if they trade back, also there's reasons to think that maybe they can get a Kamari Ramsey. So
it with Downs, he has the coverage ability of Ramsey, but then he also has the box tackling ability of McNeil-Warren. He's such a special player.
Well, let me just do a little caveat question there because you talked about that nickel role. Do you think that if they were somehow to get Downs and keep Mikey on the outside, do you think that he plays more of that nickel role and then, or how do they use him? I mean, maybe this is based upon what defensive coordinator comes, but if you were going with the same kind of defensive scheme like they did last year, do you think that they would use him properly, and what would that be like?
I would have no problem playing him at free safety.
Sure.
There's so many plays where I saw him back there by himself.
Yeah.
Where I'm you don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah. He's super smart, man.
Yeah. One of him in the backfield is better than 2 of Washington safeties back there. I hate to say it. No shot at Will Harris and the boys, but Downs by himself back there, I would sleep just perfectly sound
fine.
At night.
Yeah.
But he could play in the nickel.
He plays a lot all over the field. I just seen him so much up against
the linebacker.
Around the line of scrimmage, and I'm because watching, trying to figure out where he is. I'm where is he? And I'm he's all the way down here. So he can do a lot of different things. Yeah, no, exactly. So it's nuts. But okay, that's good. That's good to hear. Because I think it's a lot easier when you're trying to watch and see. When you see him up close, you can follow him a lot easier. If you feel comfortable just putting him back there, that's the best thing I think Commanders can hear. After seeing that, Tony touchdown on Christmas Day, I think everybody just wants to make sure they got good safety help coming next year. So
that was the play.
That was the play. That was rough. That was rough. That was a rough one.
DQ said the same too. He pulled him.
All right. So next one is wide receiver. We only got 2 more groups. Next one is wide receiver. These are just guys I liked a lot. I'm not sure how close they are when it comes to comparison, but Casey Concepcion, Jacoby Lane, and Elijah Surratt.
Oh, yeah, they are completely different.
Yeah.
Dang, that's tough. Casey Concepcion, he's an interesting cat. I was so mad he went to Texas A&M because I loved him at NC State.
Yeah.
like not even just like a special teams guy, but just like anytime you can get him like the ball in open field, like these short intermediate passes, yards after catch, that's where Casey's going to thrive. But Jacoby, he's a big dude. And so is Elijah Surratt. So like Elijah doesn't get the best separation.
Yeah.
But like he kind of reminds me of like Terry a little bit.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
But like he still has enough speed and he can still, high contested catch rate. He can still like he reminds me of just like a dominant like power forward like basketball player.
Sure,
Like he can body you up and go up and get it.
Mm-hmm.
And he still makes crazy catches. He doesn't drop a lot of passes. Dang. This is tough. I think the best one out of all of them is definitely Casey Concepcion though. But I love Elijah Surratt too. And I like, I like Jacoby.
Yeah, because what's Jacoby? I think I have an idea of where Elijah's going to go or where Casey's supposed to go. And yeah, this one's kind of like they're all over the place, but there was just three guys I like. So I kind of wanted to hear your opinion on all three. And I was really just fell in love with Casey recently. But where does Lane, expect to go? Like where do you think he falls in this draft?
Let me see. I have on our board, I think the majority of people, because like when we built our our big board, we put like what the consensus is, and then we put ours.
Yeah.
A lot of people have him in like the 60 range. We have him at 48, right behind Jeremy Bernard. We have Jeremy Bernard at 47.
Yeah, I didn't put Jeremy in there because I knew you loved Bernard. He's a beast, but I didn't want to put him in there because I know you know too much about him. So yeah,
I love Jeremy. I'm so sad he's not going to be there anymore.
He's good, man. He's real good.
Yeah, they got Casey Concepcion at 26.
Dang, you see that's up there. I mean, he's good though. Like I can see it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean his contested catch rate's ridiculous too, 66.7.
Yeah.
Trying to see where he played at mostly. I mean, they had him out wide a lot at Texas A&M. He's 5'11", 190.
Yeah.
Like, I'm putting him in the slot.
That's what I figured. But like I did when I was watching just some film, not like a ton. He was outside a decent amount. But yeah, like he gives me very slot receiver vibes. But
yeah. And I'm gonna be dead honest. Marvell Reese is not the best thrower on the ball. Marvell Reese. Like
there was one pass.
Texas A&M can win the national championship with a better quarterback.
It must be so hard for you guys who watch film a lot when you're watching quarterbacks. Like bad quarterback play because you can tell that there's some good there's some you're like Carson Beck, but there's some good players out there that like I'm like he just can't get the ball, like he can't get actual consistent passes to him. So this is where some of those guys maybe like Kyle Williams can shine out a little bit more because they're getting better quarterback play when they get to come to these events. So okay, last one, obviously, we talk about headliners, you know what I mean. Bain versus Bailey, man. Like, how do you think it's going to go? If it was up to you, how would you feel? Like, obviously, like, look, I think everybody's going to be tuned into that, regardless if you're looking for edge or not. I think most people just kind of want to see how those two good guys do because they're just so coveted and, so talked about. It makes me more excited just to see the one-on-ones and everything like that. So, yeah, where do you fall on the Bain-Bailey, conversation? And if you had to make a decision, whether it's for anyone or specifically for, DC, the, Commanders, how do you swing?
I literally just did a video of it this morning. I said it's going to be the biggest debate like for Washington, like in the fan base, I think by draft time. Obviously it depends on like who falls to us. Cause I think one will definitely be off the board, but I'm telling you, even just looking this morning, we're doing a collab, mock draft in the company. And I was just looking at some other people.
Yeah.
Everyone's putting Bailey before Bane.
Yeah.
Like this is what I tell people, man. Between now and April, you have to watch what people are saying and what they're doing. And I know Mel Kiper's sometimes off his rocker.
Yes.
The Shador thing is a little much.
Yeah, bro. The Shador, like, I love Shador too, and I think the way Cleveland's handled things has been horrible, but he's been hella interesting.
He was ready to die.
Yeah, no, he was going to war for Shador, and I was like,
tell me he ain't good.
No, I swear. It's like, it was very testy, man.
But I just want people to know that these draft people talk to team scouts 24/7. It's not just them watching film all the time. Yeah, they are, but they're also getting like, okay, what's the build? Like, what's the feeling like in the Jets building? What's the feeling like in the Cardinals building? Like, what are these scouts saying about so and so? And like, if they hate David Bailey, I'm not going to keep putting him there and make me look stupid.
Yeah.
I'm going to put Bane for the Titans.
Sure.
But right now, we have David Bailey going to the Titans.
Yeah.
But it's just like, that seems to be what's happening at the end of January. So things can change.
Yeah.
But man, for me, I am Team David Bailey. And people think I hate Bane.
Yeah.
It's not that I hate Bane, because you watch the film and it doesn't lie.
Yeah.
I don't care if his arms are 28 inches long.
He's a freak. Yeah.
If he's got stubs,
Yeah.
He has heavy hands. He pushes guys out of the way. But I want to see Ruben Bain one-on-one against Laramie Tunzel 30 times and see what happens.
Yeah, because, I mean, if you look back to what game was that? I think it was Ole Miss. He, didn't make an impact at all, and I think a lot of people were, and this is where it's like, game by game, things change a little bit. They were doing a lot of quick routes, a lot of quick, shots.
But that's the thing. If you can scheme a player out.
Yeah. It kind of says something. And I think I've watched enough David Bailey, because he's after downs, he's my favorite player. After downs.
Yeah.
They are making sure they know where he is every play. They can't get rid of him, kind of thing. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of where I'm on Team Bailey over Bane as well. But it's like, Bane's like my third best player. Like, I would take Bane right after Bailey.
Yeah, it's not that I don't like him. I just like Bailey more.
You know how it is, man. People think, like, if you're on one side, you can't be on the other. It's like, look, I love both guys. If they both want to come to DC, cool. Like, we'll take them both here, So,
it's funny you said that Ole Miss game, because I said that during the game. I was like, Bane's not doing anything impactful, and I talked about, like, the quick passes.
Sure.
Everyone's like, oh, my God, you hate Bane.
Yeah.
And it's just like comments, and then Miami fans, of course, come after me.
Yeah.
Like, that's like what they're famous for. Like, anytime you say anything about Bane,
negative.
they find you.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, no, I'm just being dead honest. Like you said, like, they were quick pass, like, scheming it up. So, like, they, like I said, Bane's not dropping back into coverage.
Yeah.
So, like, Texas Tech would do a great job, too. Like, like I said, like, showing one look, dropping out of another, and all of a sudden Bailey's out in coverage. Like, okay. The tackles are sitting there, like, looking for somebody to block, and then you got Romello Height on the other side, like, clean lane. So there's just so much you can do with them. And people are going to say, oh, his size or whatever. His arms, I think, are going to be 2 inches longer than Bane's.
Sure, yeah.
And Bane's going to be, like, 275. Dude.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's a big dude.
Sure.
So it's just such a unique frame. I think he would dominate at the 3 tech.
Yeah.
Put him on Chris Paul. no shot at Chris Paul.
No, 100%. No, like, it would be
like
destruction.
Even a top left guard in the NFL. I think his hands are so good. Like, he's just going to be able to get around guards with ease.
So, I mean, is that what you're thinking? Is that what's being said? I mean, I know that there's a discussion about it. How real is that discussion about him playing 3 technique?
I mean, it's very real for not every team.
Sure.
Who was it? Dane Brugler said it. Was it Dane Brugler? I'm pretty sure it was.
With Athletic, yeah.
With Athletic. I think he said it like a couple of weeks ago. Like, there are some teams that have a second round grade on Dane.
Yeah, I do remember that, yeah.
And I think that's real. And people are like, oh, that's stupid. But that's just how they would view him as a 3 tech guy. But then, like, what does that look like?
Yeah.
So there's question marks there. But he's still just a dominant player. But, like, for me, people are saying, oh, David Bailey's too small. How big was Micah Parsons when he came out of Penn State?
Very similar.
Smaller
size.
and shorter arms than David Bailey. Yeah. Like, his arm length was the size of Ruben Bain's right now.
I swear, if Bailey had, like, any drip at all, I feel like
dude,
the drip,
he does.
But that's the thing. I feel like if you put any, like, armbands on or anything like that, like, his arms look maybe a little slimmer because he just doesn't wear nothing. So, like, I feel like
gloves, no hand tape,
I'm not gonna lie, if
barely any socks.
Yeah, if you could make me like you with having nothing, just bare, like, create a player, just nothing, like. Yo, I'm in. Yeah. I'm in. So, yeah, no, interesting, though. I mean, I think, like, this is what I'm excited for. Like, I think that it is going to be interesting, and maybe that's why Bane decided to come. He's maybe tired of the fact that people are questioning how he would do, on the edge, or questioning his ability with his short arms, and he's like, look, I'm going to come and, see and show you guys what I can do. So,
yeah. And that's the thing, like, with the Senior Bowl, too, especially offensive linemen. they're going to play you everywhere.
Yeah.
There was centers playing left tackle.
Sure.
They're like, what the hell am I doing out here?
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, teams just want to see everything.
Yeah.
So Bane's going to have those 3 techs. They might put him at 0 tech just to see what he can do, like over a center. Yeah, but so that's what I'm hoping for. I mean, of course, his agent has to like allow it and stuff, and I don't know, we'll see. But I want to see what that looks like, and if he is going to be a 3 tech, I still think he's worth a top 10 pick.
100%.
Like, that's not a knock on him. It's just like I want him to play at his best. And you see a lot of plays this year. Obviously, he dominated on the edge. But even in the last in the national championship too, like they had him lined up as like the 3 tech, and other games this season, like he's dominating there too. So it's just what's he gonna look like? What's he gonna look like against a Penei Sewell though? What's he gonna look like against a Laramie Tunzel? Tristan Wirfs? Is he gonna be able to win consistently? Because like his powers would help some.
Sure, yeah. But there's a lot of strong people in the NFL. They have long tackles. I think of Jordan Mailata and his huge long length. You know what I mean? Like how easy is it for him to get around the edge on that? So.
It sounds crazy talking about a dude's length. Pause. But if I'm a tackle, if I am Laramie Tunzel and I can get my hands on your pads. And you can't reach me? You're not doing anything.
You're not going anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. It makes a complete difference.
Yeah.
So people are like, I don't care. You should.
You should care. Yeah.
I know the film's fantastic.
It's great, but like some of these things do matter. There's a reason why they've been talking about this for years, right? So, But
let me ask you this.
Yes, absolutely.
If I tell you that Bain is going to average you 5.5 sacks a season, would you take him at 7?
This season, 5.5, or is it just
5.5 sacks? Let's just say the next 3 seasons.
No,
but he's a force in the run game because he is. He's dominant.
That is
in the
true
run game.
because like he is really just dominant in the run game. I guess it depends. I think
because they're comparing him to Brandon Graham.
So you're saying that like you're saying that like would I take him over Bailey if you told me that? I think I still go Bailey, and it's mainly because that there's something special about a guy who knows how to pass rush and get to the quarterback really, really quickly. I think when people talked about scheming pass rush last year, when they completely, didn't address it until they got Von Miller, I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's that easy to do because everybody would do it then. You know what I mean? You wouldn't have people, like Myles Garrett. You know what I mean? You wouldn't have Brian Burns getting paid so much, right? So it's such a incredible art, and I think that's the knock that I hear from Bailey. Is like, look, he might not be the best, edge rusher, or excuse me, not the edge rusher, but edge setter, or like best in the run game, but he is excellent at pass rush. And so hearing that, it's just barely. It would be a barely. I would still take Bailey, but at the same time, I think what Ruben Bain does as a whole football player is something that's underrated for sure. And I think seeing if he could play 3 technique would be beneficial because there's going to be some formations that you're going to want to bring him down and bring somebody like a Jacob Martin on the outside or something. Like there may be some changes. We don't know what defense this team's going to be playing also.
Yeah, so hell, he could replace Deron Payne.
We don't know. We really don't know. But like I just think that when at some point we have to start talking about football players, and that guy is a football player, man. Like he just, when the game is on, you've got to know what he's up to, and he affects it. So, that's where I know, like you said, I know that people are going to look at this and be like, oh, you don't like Bane because you said Bailey, but that's not the case, man. I love Bane too. So yeah. Yeah,
because Bane's getting, like I said, the biggest comp everyone's saying is Brandon Graham.
Yeah.
Which, that should excite you. Yeah, Brandon Graham was 6'2", 265. Like you said, shorter arms.
Yeah.
His best season had 11 sacks in 2022. And outside of that, the rest of his career, he was probably averaging 6.5, 7 sacks a season. And then, like I said, 22, he just popped off with 11.
Yeah. Still a good player. What season was he on this year? He still was making plays at the end of that. Under that,
30.
Like he's been.
He had 79.5 career sacks.
Yeah, so, been in the league for a minute.
Super productive guy.
Well, Well, Josh, thank you so
37,
much,
God.
man. Yeah, look, I'll leave it right. I could talk to you for like another hour. I'm not going to do that to
me
you.
too.
So I just want to say thank you for jumping on. Thank you for, indulging all the questions that I had. I hope you have no issues getting out there. For those who know, like in this DC area, Josh is in Richmond. Like we got a big snowstorm coming through. So hopefully safe travels for you. You know what I mean? Thank you for coming on, and hopefully we could do this again soon.
For sure, man. Anytime. Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, peace.